Cece, will you please call the roll? Fire personnel, for they are our first responders to crises that may arise at any time during the day or night. Keep them safe, so at the end of their workday, they may safely return home to their families. We further ask Almighty God that you keep a watchful eye over all of our city employees, those civil servants whose work is done for the good of our community. And in closing, O God of mercy, we ask for thy blessing and comfort for our neighbors who may be suffering from mental or physical disabilities. Cheer them and bring them thy blessing of health and happiness. And now please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain O'Brien.
Mark Zelnick from Longwood Manor, and Rose Kasmer from the Longwood Manor. It was a productive meeting that we had. I think we all felt that we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish in the meeting. They're going to do a fire safety inspection next week sometime. It has to be scheduled, but that would be to reevaluate the safety in the manor for additional people, because we did request to be able to have more people in the house. Actually, what we asked for was to go to from 15 to 25. They're also going to look at, I believe, they're also going to look at the second floor to give us, the first impression of what the requirements are there. They're looking to see what else has to be done safety-wise with the additional people and our usage to be able to use the manor. So that's going to be sometime next week. I think Mr. Ripley's coming over. We had, the things for 2019. The brush is going to be removed this year around the house. That's been the problem with not being able to see the house that we've mentioned before. The parking is going to be improved. Not sure what the final way they're going to do that. And the third thing was we asked for additional lighting, basically for safety. Along with that, we did ask if they're putting up another light pole, for example, if they could also give us a hookup so that we could plug in an electric sign that we could turn on and off when we're using it. That would help people to know where to turn. I think we have our monthly meetings at 6:30 p.m. during the year, and those are open to everybody. Okay, they start at 6:30, so that means first few months of the year usually they're starting in the dark. We have people that don't know where the manor is. They don't know where the service, or they don't realize the service road is actually where you get into the manor. So that's just something we ask for them to see if that's feasible to do that. For fundraisers this year, we're going to start our 2019 membership drive shortly. This year we're stressing lifetime memberships. We just had a lifetime member added recently, the Pelagi family, if anyone knows them, on Driftwood Lane. We're kind of stressing that with our current members too, to go to a lifetime membership. Our fees are $25 for an individual, $35 for a family. So buying a lifetime membership, which would cost $150, is actually a pretty good deal. If we have members that have been Longwood Manor members for back 10, 15 years, so that would be to their advantage. Let's see, we're going to continue to apply for grants. We're going to have the holiday gift shop again. We're planning in the Christmas season, and we also want to start additional fundraisers in the spring. Also, the variety of the consignment shop, gift shop idea that was successful with the holiday gift sale. Actually, the next person who's going to be talking is one of our members, and he'll mention that for the additional gift shop ideas that we have. That's also for fundraising. Just two more things. The manor will not be open to the public on January 27th this year. That's our normal time, the fourth Sunday that we're open to the public, 1 to 4. It will not be open January 27th. Also, we had to cancel the January members meeting, which we would have had last week. That was because of the weather conditions. Okay?
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Don Davis.
I'll be even brief than what he was. I'll be really quick. Again, my name's Don Davis. I'm at 1305 River Run Drive. Just as a member of the Longwood Historical Society, and I was actually really the driving force behind the holiday gift shop and trying to get some more fundraising going and stuff. So I just I meant to come to the first meeting, but unfortunately I've been stricken with a cold, so I came this week. But wanted to wanted to thank your office, the mayor's office, for allowing us to use the Longwood Manor for the fundraising for the gift shop. We felt that it was a success. We had probably, I would say, between 100, 150 people come through. Some signed in to the guest book, some didn't. But I think we had some, it's going to be a learning process to try to figure out things. We definitely need to get better signage because we didn't do a very good job on our signs. But other than that, it was definitely a success. Also, and thank you to to the service department and to Angela also for assisting us with different things in regards to the holiday gift shop. Also wanted to thank the residents from Macedonia, excuse me, and the surrounding cities. We had a lot of people come from Hudson, Twinsburg, Sagamore, to either, just stop in, shop around, or just have a cup of coffee or what have you. And just wanted to, pretty much just say, I think the event helped to bring notice to the manor. Also, the Leader was really good to us. They pretty much ran an article every week in the Leader newspaper. Is it the Leader? Yeah. News Leader. Sorry. They ran an article every week in regards to the thing, so they were really good to us. Just, again, I think it brought a lot of notice that the house is there. It definitely, I think a lot of people were surprised at when they came in at how it looked and everything, because, we didn't open on time, and that was my doing because I didn't feel like it was ready to be opened at the condition it was in, so I preferred we kind of waited a couple more weeks until I really was able to get it more clean and, prepared for people. And I think people took notice to that, and I think it was, all in all, I think it was a success. And, definitely I hope to continue with the supporting of the Historical Society and, even just in general with fundraising efforts to help restore the manor and stuff. And that was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, can I make a comment, please? Sure, real quick.
Ms. Brandt?
Yes.
Ms. Tully?
Yes.
Mr. Ventura?
Yes.
I could just do last names, it'd be gender neutral.
So we're going to move into executive session. As soon as we're done, we'll come back out and finish conducting city business for the day. So we are adjourned momentarily.
I have requested that the law director join us.
2018.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to ordinance number 123, 2018, to section, hold on a second, I've got to turn the page. 161.01A, exempted employee, the 40 hours in that line would change to 60 hours annually.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Now I'd make a motion that we pass and accept according to law. Yeah, we already did that. Ordinance number 123, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance number 123 passes. Ordinance 127.
I'd like to offer ordinance 127-2018 for its third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending Chapter 131, nope, not 131, 1321 of the codified ordinances of the City of Macedonia regarding the fee schedule for the City of Macedonia Building Department.
What's your pleasure?
I move we pass and post ordinance 127-2018 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 127 passes. Ordinance number 1.
I'd like to offer ordinance 1-2019 for its second and third reading by title only, please.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance establishing the Fund 280 Safety Services Fund.
What's your pleasure?
I move we pass and post ordinance 1-2019 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance number 1 passes. Just to recap that one, that was the one where we created another fund for the levy that passed for police, fire, and service. It put something into our budget that identifies the dollars coming in and out of there, so it keeps it neat and clean, and it was recommended by our auditors. Ordinance number 4.
I'll move to offer ordinance number 4, 2019, for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 114, 2018 relative to current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Macedonia for the period of January 1, 2019 to December 31st, 2019.
What's your pleasure?
I move to amend ordinance number 4, 2019, and to add the language of, to add the levy bond proceeds for the safety funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now I move to pass and post ordinance number 4, 2019, to the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just a quick update on this one. This is the dollars we got for the exhaust systems for the fire department and also for our new ladder truck, which is being built as we speak. Ordinance number 5.
Mayor, I move to offer ordinance 5, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance establishing the City of Macedonia credit card policy pursuant to state law.
What's your pleasure?
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance 5, 2019 and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This one is the policy meant to comply with the mandates of House Bill 312 enacted by the 132nd General Assembly. So a little bit of housekeeping on that one. Resolution number 6.
I offer resolution number 6, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow, you guys are spirited today.
We love Kevin.
We all like Kevin.
A resolution confirming the appointment by the mayor of Kevin Hunter to the Parks and Rec Commission.
And what's your pleasure?
I'd offer to, resolution number 6, 2019, posted the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will say, Mr. Hunter, I've met before. He's a great individual. He's been attending the meetings. He had expressed interest in it prior to the opening, and I think he'll be a great addition to the Parks and Recreation Commission. So I know he's not here tonight, but welcome, Mr. Hunter. Any correspondence from, any motions or other legislative action? Hearing none, correspondence from the clerk?
I have several. Dear Chief Black, I am sending this note of gratitude for the excellent care I received from paramedic Tylicki and his co-workers, Matt Snowden and Joe Natale, on the afternoon of Saturday, November 17th, 2018, they transported me to the Cleveland Clinic, Twinsburg, Ohio. On that day, they were working from the Northfield Fire Department, which is where I reside. I spent most of the transport time conversing with Mr. Tylicki, who, in my opinion, is a shining star in his profession. Nobody could have asked for more compassionate care. Would you please forward my dearest gratitude to him and his co-workers, Matt Snowden and Joe Natale. The Macedonia Fire Department and the surrounding areas are indeed fortunate to have people of such dedication taking care of us. God bless all the paramedics and firefighters. Dolores Jacobs, Marwick Place, Northfield Center, Ohio. I received a resident called with this message expressing her gratitude and appreciation for the quality clearing of Macedonia's roads during the last weekend snow event compared to the roads in our neighboring community. Dear Captain Ripley, in this long overdue note, we just wanted to thank you for your concern and support after a fire on our Dresser Lane home. We are thankful to all of the Macedonia Fire and other cities that responded. I wanted to personally thank you for all your visits in the weeks after our event. Your personal encouragement really helped us and encouraged us during. Your personal encouragement really helped us and encouraged us during this very confusing time in our lives. The process of rebuilding is starting to take off, and we should be back in our home in June. We hope your Christmas was terrific and wish you a safe, peaceful, and a wonderful 2019. All the best, Jeff and Mo Flanick. That's it.
Thank you. Next is the mayor's report. I'm going to talk a little bit about the snow event we had over the weekend. Pretty obvious to everyone, we got quite a bit of snow. I think we were around a foot, if not more. Our guys worked a lot of hard hours. We're working 2 12-hour shifts. They were working around the clock to keep that clear. When the temperature drops below about 15 degrees, the salt that we utilize is ineffective. I heard a lot of talks about the road being full of snow and not plowed. I can tell you that from the city's perspective, we have GPS on every truck. We can tell you what time they were there, what time they left. We can tell you how fast they were going. We can tell you if there was salt in the truck. We have all that information at our disposal. I heard from several folks that a truck had not been on my road. And upon investigation, the truck had been on the road, but given the severity of the event, obviously the snow kept coming down and we did our best to do that. Keep in mind that when we have a snow event, our first priority are our main roads. It always has to be because it's our highest traveled roads, and that's what we're going to concentrate on first. The secondaries will come thereafter. So when you see these things and you see the trucks and you say you don't see them, if you're ever curious, contact Director Notavange in the service department. We'd be more than happy to show you what we have, and if you say, hey, they haven't been on my road, and if you are in fact correct, we need to look into something like that, and we want to know those things.
Is that home number give out?
I'll give you his personal cell phone number. But it's something that, becomes frustrating when these guys are working the hard hours, and I just want to say that, these guys really worked hard and they did a really, really good job at what they did. So please have a little respect for our service guys, because they do work hard to keep the streets clear, and that's all in an effort to be safe. Again, the salt piece, we're not going to put salt down if it's ineffective. Another thing you need to think about is when it's snowing and it's accumulating and we're pushing, we're not going to salt. Because if you put salt down while you're plowing and it continues to come, you're just going to shove the salt off the road. There's communities out there that are paying $105 a ton for salt. $105. Would you want to push that back into a ditch? I don't. Luckily, we got ours for what, $53? $55 in some change for a ton, and we did really, really well. I don't like shoving $55 into any ditch. So understand that when it's accumulation snow, we're going to push it off. When the snow ceases, we will put salt down. Salt is also activated by vehicles in warmer weather and the sun. So you have to keep in mind, if we just put salt down, it's not necessarily going to melt everything. It has to be activated by traction of vehicles, the sun, moisture, things like that all work to help with that. We don't have the equipment that can activate it that quickly, so we work the best with what we have. The other piece that comes along with the snow event are mailboxes. We had several complaints, well, actually I shouldn't say several, we had many complaints that, you knocked my mailbox over and, what are you going to do about it? Something different that I'm doing in the role I'm in now as mayor, if we are plowing snow and slush comes off the road, the slush is going to hit your mailbox. It's going to happen. It's going to knock your mailbox over. A lot of the new Rubbermaid boxes are designed to knock the top portion off where you put your mail so that if the slush does hit it or anything does hit it, it will knock the box off so it can just be put back on. They're not screwed in or anything like that. They're designed that way for a reason. When a truck's traveling down the road, and Director Notovans will talk about this a little more in his report, they have to maintain a certain speed. I had one person call and say, well, the truck was flying down the road and hit 14 mailboxes. Upon looking at the GPS, the driver had not gone over 22 miles an hour. Actually, I think in that case it was 19, correct? 19 miles an hour, and the slush hit every single mailbox. If you have a rickety post holding your mailbox up, it's likely that that slush is going to take your post and your mailbox with it. I know that early before the winter began, Director Notovans had said on several occasions to try and ask people to secure your mailboxes. There's a reason why we ask for that. These mailboxes don't hold up very well, and you got to imagine, a 5 or 10 ton truck coming down the road pushing, slush or snow, hitting an object that's defined. What's going to happen? We're going to have an issue. The difference of what I'm doing now is if we have the ability to get out and help fix those things, we're going to try and do that. I can't guarantee that every time. Also, people said the truck hit my mailbox. I can tell you with great certainty, if a plow truck hits your mailbox, you're definitely going to know. That thing will be blasted into a billion pieces, and you're going to know. Slush and a plow are two different things, but we're going to start to take a little bit more of a look at what we're doing and how we can help with the problem. It's Ohio. It's stuff we've dealt with our whole lives. We all know what Ohio's like. My friends call it Snow Ohio. It's for a reason. We're going to have events. Mailboxes will be hit by slush, maybe even sometimes a plow. We will always accept responsibility if we hit a mailbox. Our guys are instructed that if you hit a mailbox, let us know. We'll take care of it. It's going to happen. We can't avoid it. That's part of the job that they do. So I just asked, if you have those issues, just call it in. We'll try and help you any way we can. Our first priority is obviously safety, keeping the roads clear, salting the roads when we can, and doing those types of jobs. I also did a ride-along on Saturday, or Sunday. Did a Facebook Live video. I think it was important to show on our Facebook for people to see what those guys go through. And I could tell you, when a plow's driving along a road and they're next to a curb, they have to kind of feel for it. So if you can imagine, a driver has a hand on the wheel, has a hand for the salt if he's applying, and he has a hand for the plow at all the same time of watching all the people around him. I could tell you that's a stressful job, and you do that for 12 hours straight, for days on end, that's tough. It's something that you have to almost see to understand how difficult that really is. It's not an easy job. Fatigue sets in. There's only so much coffee one of those guys can drink, and it's something that's very, very dangerous. So if you see those guys on the road, I ask you to have respect for them. If they're plowing and they're in front of you, stay back. A lot of times we have stickers on the back that say stay back 50 feet. Obviously in an event that's probably covered by snow or salt, you're not going to be able to see that. But I would ask that you stay back from the trucks, allow them to do their job, because they're trying to keep it safe for you.
See the yellow lights.
We also have lights all over the trucks. I'll let Director Notovans speak a little more to that. On January 17th, I hosted a Mayor's Association meeting here at City Hall. We had a great conversation about a lot of different things in communities. It was the first time I went to a meeting where we didn't have an agenda, and it was probably one of the best meetings I've ever been to. The news leader was there with Mr. Larmers, who's here tonight, and got to see the things we got to talk about, which is nice when you're talking to other mayors and service directors about the complexities of what we're doing and how to work different things. And just one example we talked about was getting salt. So I mentioned it a little earlier about the cost of salt. So think about this. The one mayor mentioned, well, I have a rail yard, and they can bring in many tons of salt on a rail as opposed to a truck. A lot of the costs that we have with salt are related to putting it into a truck, transporting it to you, and dumping it, and then having someone push that salt into your bin. He said, what if we all came together, used my yard, we split the cost of somewhere to store that salt, and we could rail it in? My God, could you imagine the savings we can have? We're getting smart. It's good things. It's nice to have other communities working with us. I've spent a lot of time with the mayor of Twinsburg, Mayor Niehaus in Northfield. We got a lot of great things on the horizon that we're working together on to save money and work together. So it's something I'm very, very proud of, and more to come on that. That same evening, our new state representative, Casey Weinstein, was in the basement giving his, I guess, kind of state of the union. A lot of things that were talked about in that meeting were bringing the funds back that were taken away from us by the state. I know I'm not going to beat a dead horse too much with this, but we lost $650,000 a year. The state is sitting on a stack of cash while we're all struggling down here. Our former governor solved the problem, but shoved the problem down to us. He solved the problem for the state, but shoved the problem down to us to deal with, which we've done at this point. It still would be nice to get some of those dollars back because we all desperately need them, whether it's, you know, for the city, for the schools, or whatever the case may be. At least getting those dollars back into our coffers where I think they rightfully belong. If you take your pie of tax, we get about 9%. The state gets a much bigger chunk of that, so something to think about. There was a major catastrophe today in the village of Peninsula. Is it a village or a city? I'm not quite sure. Village?
Yeah.
So their service building burned to the ground with all of their equipment and trucks in it. It's a devastating thing when, you know, you see a picture of it, and we had mutual aid with our fire department to go there and give those guys a hand to get through that. I did reach out to the mayor over there, and, you know, I'm lending a helping hand from Macedonia to help them at the advice of my captain Ripley, who said it'd probably be a good idea to, you know, reach out to him, and I appreciate you giving me that thought, because the first thought I thought, man, they lost everything, and that's terrible. But, you know, reaching out and helping them is a great, great thing, and we have since done that. They have no plow trucks right now. We're going to let them borrow a plow truck so that they can keep their city safe and be a good neighbor. And I think that's something that we should all spread, not just within a city realm, but in our personal lives, because that's the good stuff that, you know, if that doesn't make you feel good, I don't know what does. So keep them in your prayers and in your thoughts. That's a major ordeal for them, and I couldn't imagine what they're going through. Finally, Captain Ripley, with the purchase of our ladder truck, I completed the wire transfer yesterday for the purchase of that. In spending that money earlier, paying for the truck early, Captain Ripley had worked it out with the vendor that we would get an extra $21,000 back. We missed it by a day, so I think it's going to be $20,000, but still, every dollar we can get back and everything we can do to help our financial status is going to be a good thing. So I thank you, Captain, for all your hard work with that, and it's definitely appreciated. So kudos to you, sir. And that is the end of my report.
And this one, we got a bunch of truck units on.
Yeah. Committee reports.
Parks and Recs Committee, next meeting is Wednesday, February 6th at 6 p.m. That's it.
Also want to, we're probably going to cancel, we are going to cancel the finance meeting after the JED meeting on the 31st. Just right now, we kind of gathered some information on moving forward with some capital projects.
Department reports. Director Nanavich.
Thank you, Mayor. To touch base on the winter event that started on January 19th, we were dispatched out at 11 a.m. on that Saturday, and the trucks ran for 53 straight hours during the entire event, finally ending on the 22nd. During that time, we ran 8 trucks at all times for our routes, as opposed to our normal 6 that we had. The severity of the snow, we were able to utilize a couple of extra trucks to stay out there and help with the mains, which allowed in turn for them to come off the mains and go into the developments faster than usual. Other than the snow amount that we had, it was a benefit because we were able to continuously just run around the city and keep the roads open. Total lane miles traveled for each truck on average per truck during the event was 591 lane miles that each truck ran on average. They did a great job. Stayed on top of it as well as they could, and as the mayor mentioned, we did have to stop salting at a point because first was the accumulation heavy. We were gaining so much. We had over 12 inches total snowfall, and then when that temperature dropped into the low teens, you lose your salt, limits on that. So we had to use it just for weight to push around. We used around 400 tons of total salt for that event, which is relatively low from what we've used in the past for events like this. And touch base with the mailboxes that the mayor had mentioned. We had 20 that have been reported to us so far. We did try to go out there on on, gosh, today's Thursday, I'm losing my days already. Sorry, on Wednesday to try to make repairs, but with the flooding and everything that we had, with the snow melt, we had to pull back and take care of residents then. But we will try to get back on the mailbox as soon as we can, and we are going to make repairs to all of them to try to get them back up so you can get your mail. And that's all I have.
Do you want to talk a little bit about potholes?
Not
Because
really.
we are aware, Valley View is the
Yeah.
portion that we have not paved is really, really bad. We're going out tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it went from a decent street in one weekend with that snow event, just driving it today was like,
Well,
this
yeah,
is like bombs got dropped on it.
It's a double-edged sword, because also this year, we mentioned last meeting before, but we ran a new blade on all our plow trucks this year. We were running a steel carbide. Now with those, you're anticipated to get 2 to 3 years of continuous use out of these blades without having to change your blade. To put in perspective for us, when we were running our rubber blades, we were going into the shop average of 3 times a season to change our blades out. So now that reduces your downtime to go into the garage. It puts you more on the road. But again, these are carbide blades on the roads that are already kind of dilapidating, and they're going to help expedite that. But when you have these cold temperatures also, those carbide blades help cut through the ice and allow you to expose that pavement better. We are going to be getting road material tomorrow, and we will be on Valley View between Highland and Twinsburg Road.
You were going to ask that, weren't you?
No, sorry.
Mr. Gelati.
Sure, thanks, Mayor. Just one item to let the council know about. It's an item that doesn't require any action by us as a city, but Summit County Sewer is planning to do some sewer replacement work. This work largely will take place in backyards and in some wooded areas in the zone west of Crow and south of Lawton, kind of along the side of Indian Creek. They're going in there to replace these sewers, basically to straighten out some sharp bends in the sewer and also to eliminate a couple of locations where the sewer actually crosses under Indian Creek. Like I say, it's in backyards and in wooded areas, so you're likely not to even notice or ever actually see the work. We're being told it's planned for late in 2019, and again, doesn't require any action or financial commitment on our behalf, but we just want the council to know that that is taking place, just so you're aware and in case anyone asks you about it.
Do you know if it's typical for the county to let residents know if there will be people in their backyards?
The county is notifying all the residents involved and is securing all of the necessary easements to actually work across their backyard.
Good, yeah.
So the residents that will be affected, of which there's 7 or 8 or 9, have already been made aware by the county.
Okay, good.
And we had a meeting over the summer to go over this project, and that's something we talked about extensively, making sure that people knew who was in their backyard and what they were doing. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Director Manley.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick update on the construction project at the rec center. I was in there today, and tile is still going up and down, I should say, on the floors as well. They're grouting. Partitions between toilets and urinals were installed today. They were finishing that up at the end of the day. And all of our doors are expected to be delivered tomorrow, and those will be going on the changing rooms and the dry areas and the shower doors as well. Those are all glass doors that are going to be installed. So things are moving along still. And I just want to remind everyone you still have a few days left to take advantage of our January promotions at the rec center. So you can get on our webpage, which is macrec.com, or follow us on social media to see what the promotions always are and see if it's something you'd like to take advantage of. Thank you.
Still on track for March 31st?
Say no comment.
We're gonna, that is the goal, yes. I think, I will say this, there are certain orders that the order time or the process of ordering certain materials has become longer than what was originally anticipated. So I think for some of those reasons, some of those materials and items, it may push us a little further out possibly.
Should have
but
gotten them
not
from
for
Amazon, 2 days.
The drones can't carry it.
Chief Black.
Thanks, Mayor. With the heavy snow, I'd like to remind residents to not plow in their fire hydrants. If they have a service or they're doing it themselves and plowing their driveways, make sure that the fire hydrant is open. Be really nice if they would shovel around it so we have access, but don't plow it in. The next thing would be your house numbers. If the house numbers are not clearly marked on the house and it's on a rock in the front yard, we have no clue. We do hear from residents that you drove past my house, but there's no markings on the house whatsoever. So while we do have GPS and the guys are following maps that are in the station, if we can't find your exact address, it makes it very difficult and delays our response getting to your house. So please make sure your numbers are visible. That's all.
Chief Golden.
No report, Mayor.
Director Gaddetti.
No report, sir.
Is there any unfinished business?
Can I ask Chief Golden the condition is Officer Hedrick been able to return back to work yet?
I'm sorry?
I would just like to ask if Officer Hedrick, after his accident, has he returned back to work yet?
He is not.
Is he doing better?
He's doing better, but it's unknown when he's going to return right now.
Okay, thank you.
Any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.